everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the JimFear podcast. Now, this is going to be just if I can get this fucking wine bottle open. There we go. This is just going to be kind of a lazy podcast. I'm just going to be talking about some shit that interests me. I'm recording this on Friday. I had recorded one on Thursday, because see, the way I had planned out doing it was I would record on Thursday and edit on Thursday and Friday if I wasn't too just completely zonked from work. And then I would upload on Saturday. That way you guys don't have to deal with the ums and ahs and dead air and shit like that. And I had one recorded yesterday, but looking back on it, that podcast was really kind of heavy, and it had a lot of divisive shit in it. I got into race for a little while, and I'm pretty sure that had I uploaded that, I would have pissed off just about everybody of every race, including white people, which honestly would make it fun. I don't know, I still have the Audacity file, but I'm probably just going to delete it. Because I don't really feel like bringing everybody down with that kind of bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Especially when today, when this finally goes live for you guys, but today for me, is such a happy day. Because I fucked up. I fucked up bad. But it's such a nice fuck up, and I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, I fucked up. But what else is new at this point? But yeah, I didn't want to bring everybody down. I didn't want to cause all kinds of division and have the comments section exploding and possibly get doxxed for my harmful opinions and all that shit. So I'm just going to delete that other one and upload this one, which is going to be more fun. It's probably mostly going to be about the trials and tribulations of being a fan of Games Workshop. Excuse me. The trials and tribulations of being a fan of Games Workshop. Sorry, I had a beer, and it's given me the burps a little bit. But, as I was saying, this podcast is probably going to be more about the trials and tribulations of being a Games Workshop slave drone. And I don't mean the guy who works at Games Workshop, because if I worked at Games Workshop, I would have no disposable income whatsoever. I would just, because they get an employee discount, it's like 50% off or 25% off. So I would just spend all my fucking money at Games Workshop. I would pay my bills and take care of my food for the month, and then the rest of my paycheck would just go back into work. Which is why I'd never, ever want to apply for a job at a Games Workshop, because I just wound up spending too much money. I already spent too much money on this shit. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, the Wolfen are coming back. And I'm just like, this is gonna get involved. My favorite Space Marines chapter is the Space Wolves, because they're basically just like drunken Vikings in power armor. And the reason, well, that's basically the reason that I love them so much. They're fucking awesome. Very Norse. They live on a death world. And in Warhammer 40k, they have this concept of death worlds. I'll explain it for those of you who don't know what death worlds are. Death worlds are worlds where humanity is not supposed to be able to survive. There are some of them that are just jungle. Like the entire world. Like Arrakis. Have you ever read Dune? If not, what the fuck have you been doing? Go read Dune. It's one of the best science fiction novels ever. Honestly, you could take or leave the rest of the series. I enjoyed it. I still have to read Chapter House, but I've read all of the rest of them. The rest of the series is good, but it doesn't quite capture the magic of the first Dune. But Arrakis, desert planet, death world. Humanity is not supposed to be able to survive on this planet. They do, but in Warhammer 40k, you have planets that are desert planets, you have planets that are jungle planets with all kinds of vicious monsters, and the foliage itself will try to kill you. And worlds like Fenris, the home of the Space Wolves, which is an ice world. It's so far, it's got this weird elliptical orbit, and it's so far from its sun that winter lasts the majority of the year, and it gets so fucking cold that you walk outside to, smoke a cigarette and freeze to death before you even get a couple of puffs. Fenris is a hardcore place. And that's why the Primarch of the Space Wolves, Leman Russ, chose Fenris. Well, I mean, he landed there, first off. It was his home world. He landed on Fenris as a kid, and then basically, found a pack of wolves to be his family, and challenged the great king of all of the tribes of Fenris, very, Norse Viking tribe, system on Fenris. And he beat the fuck out of this dude. And then he was declared the king of Fenris, and he chose Fenris as the home of the Space Wolves Legion of Adeptus Astartes, because only people who could survive Fenris deserve the honor of becoming Space Wolves. And it's awesome. These are some of the most hardcore motherfuckers in the galaxy. They're kick-ass, man. They're, like I say, they're my favorite faction. Go look up, art of Space Wolves. They're just the baddest motherfuckers out there next to, the Grey Knights. But they got the Grey Knights on numbers, if I remember my lore right. But anyway, the Space Wolf, the way you make a Space Marine, and I'm gonna have to get in this to explain the whole Wolfen thing. The way that you make a Space Marine is they have this thing called a gene seed. And you take a normal person who's the cream of the crop normal people, the most physically fit and vicious and just the best people for fighting. And then you put them through some of the most intensive training the universe has ever seen, while they're still normal people. And most people, especially on Fenris, do not survive this training. They literally, on Fenris, an ice world, they literally drop you in the middle of fucking nowhere, naked, after 6 months of training. You're literally naked. I don't even think they give you a weapon. You have to fashion your own weapons. And they drop you naked in the middle of nowhere, and you have to find your way back to camp. And if you die, well, you weren't fucking worthy, were you? So, these are the type of people who become Space Wolves, the ones that survive this process. And then they take this gene seed, and they alter your physiology with it through surgery and gene therapy and things like that, and make you into, a 9-foot tall, built like a brick shithouse death machine. And they put you in big, inches thick ceramite armor, and you're just a complete fucking killing machine at that point. It's awesome. And these guys drink, jet engine fuel to get drunk. This is the coolest motherfuckers in the Imperial Army. But there was a problem with the Space Wolf gene seed, right? And it basically is it's called the Curse of the Wolfen. And it kind of turns these guys into werewolves. All of the Space Wolves have, long fangs, and that's why they actually have a division of the army that's made up of old guys who've lived longer than everybody else, called the Long Fangs. 'Cause they have these protruding canine teeth. They get a wolfish kind of look to their faces. And the Wolfen kind of take that a step too far. Their gene seed was corrupted, or they reacted badly to it. It was the 13th Company that had this problem specifically, and this is back in the Horus Heresy, so this is 10,000 years ago so far as galactic history in 40k is concerned. And they were cursed with this problem, and it was really fucked up, and everybody tried to keep it hush-hush, and they were trying to find a cure, but it never really worked out. So, eventually, the Horus Heresy got so bad that Leman Russ, in his infinite wisdom, the infinite wisdom of the insane Viking space king of the space Vikings, basically, decided, I'm going to take these bad boys, because they are the fiercest fighters, like, seriously. Like, the Wolfen are fucked up, and they are bestial, and berserkers, and all that kind of shit. They can kill normal space wolves. They're not really to be fucked with. You know what I mean? So, Leman Russ, the Primarch of the Space Wolves, the Space Viking King, decides, I'm going to take these motherfuckers, and we're going to go into the Eye of Terror, and we're going to defeat Chaos. And the Eye of Terror is essentially a gateway to hell that just kind of exists out in the galaxy. It's just there. It's this big splotch of space in our galaxy that's just a gateway into hell. Like, that's the center point of chaos, influence, and that's basically where Abaddon launches all of his Black Crusades from. The Eye of Terror is a bad, bad place. You're not supposed to walk into the Eye of Terror. You're not supposed to get within light years of the Eye of Terror. Terror. Because terror and Terra are two different things. But Leman Russ grabs the 13th Company and he's like, we're going for it, boys! And they're like, alright, Daddy, let's go! And that didn't end well, as you can probably imagine. But recently, Games Workshop has decided that they are going to bring the Wolfen back from the Eye of Terror, and from what I understand, they're not really corrupted by chaos, it's just their fucked up gene seed that makes them all scary and wolf-like and shit. Space werewolf Vikings, essentially. And they're going to come back because Chaos has decided to make the supremely stupid mistake. Sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. She's got new toys. And apparently she's decided to play with them right now while I'm trying to record the podcast. So hopefully you guys won't have to deal with that. I'll be able to talk over her. But yeah, we'll see. So Chaos has decided to invade the home world of the Space Wolves. And the Wolfen are coming back to stop it. And Tzeentch, one of the Chaos Gods, has apparently tricked, I think the guy at GW said it was the Dark Angels and one other faction. The Ultramarines, that was it. The Ultramarines and the Dark Angels. That, the Wolfen were tainted by Chaos, and we have to go smash Fenris and just get rid of the Space Wolves because they're tainted. Which isn't true. The Space Wolves have been one of the longest-standing anti-Chaos loyalist factions in the Empire since the beginning of the Empire. Like, Russ even tried to kill his own brother because he thought he had fallen to Chaos. So yeah, like, the Space Wolves are good guys. They're clean. Even the Wolfen. But anyway, to continue here, the Wolfen are coming back, and everybody's all fucked up about it, and the Grey Knights are even getting involved, so Doom, if you listen to this, the Grey Knights are going to get involved in this Wolfen thing, so you need to go pick up the fiction that is coming out. I think Curse of the Wolfen is the new book that they made, but on to my supremely bad mistake. I'm saying supremely a lot. My horrendously bad mistake. So, with this whole event, they're releasing a couple of novels through Black Library. Actually, if I remember right, Robbie McNiven, who is a-40k-author on Tumblr, who actually works for Black Library and is insanely involved in the Tumblr 40k community. So if you're into 40k and you're on Tumblr, go follow a 40k author. He's actually, like, the nicest guy I've ever seen on Tumblr. He's just so ridiculously cool about everything. The only thing is he can't, like, legally can't drop spoilers. But he's cool as shit about pretty much everything else. He answers questions, he talks with people, he reblogs stuff and adds commentary. He posts a lot of really cool 40k art. And it's just, it's definitely worth a follow if you're on Tumblr. But, so, to celebrate this, they released the books, and like I say, I think that guy is getting the second novel in the series. David Annandale, if I remember right, got The Curse of the Wolfen. But, yeah, so they're doing this whole big thing. They have new rules. They have, well, it's basically a codex, called Curse of the Wolfen, with rules for the Wolfen, because they're making Wolfen models, and I'm gonna get one tomorrow, hopefully. Speaking of which, I should probably look for that. I'll do it later. Yeah, so they're releasing models, which I'm going to try and get at least one box of Wolfen, but they're fucking ridiculously expensive. Like, everything that GW makes is stupid fucking expensive. You guys who aren't into this shit don't even fucking know, man. It really is like having a crack habit. But they released, a campaign for Space Wolves and Chaos. So they released 2 new rulebooks. They got the Chaos one and the Wolfen one. And the Chaos one, according to the dude at my local GW store, sold out in like 8.5 minutes of it going up online on Games Workshop's site. It sold out in like 8.5 minutes, which is fucking crazy. I guess Chaos people are really fucking desperate for an update to their forces. That's the story that I get. Like, apparently those haven't been updated in a while, and those guys will just eat up anything that comes their way. But I don't really have room to talk, because I bought the other one! I had the money, and I'm dumb, so I wound up buying the collector's edition of the Wolfen rulebook, which comes in this awesome kick-ass, like, he said that I couldn't show pictures till tomorrow as of this recording, so that'll be Saturday, which is when this should go up. So, I don't know, I can probably take some pictures and show you guys. I don't know, it might take longer to edit, though. That'd be a bitch. I don't know, I'll forego showing you pictures. But trust me, it's kick-ass. It was so stupid of me. Because this shit costs, like, what was it? 100... Like, I think all told, it was like $200. With, like, shipping and handling. It was so fucking stupid of me. I'm never gonna burn this much money on something. Well, no, I can't say I'm never gonna do it again. But not for a very long time, at least. Because that was, like, 2/3 of a paycheck right there. But, It's got this kick-ass, hardcover. Well, first off, there's the slipcover, which is, like, it's got a gatefold on it with the seal of Fenris with half of the wolf's head. It's all gilt inlaid, too, and it's got all of the runes in a big circle on the front, and this gilt inlaid diamond on it with a wolf's head, and half of it has just a regular, like, Fenris wolf skull, and the other wolf head, and the other half is a skull with bones coming out of it, like a wolf skull. It looks so fucking cool. Like, that's part of the reason that I bought it, is this is gonna look so impressive on a shelf, and I'm gonna just be able to set it up there and be like, yes. Because I'm a fucking nerd like that, and I'm a poor, sad, lonely individual with nothing but my models to keep me company at night. But it includes this, this neat-ass book that explains all of the rules, and it's got this kick-ass, art on the cover of a Wolfen just, like, screaming and looking all fierce and everything, and you can, like, see the spit flying out off of his fangs, and the Curse of the Wolfen is engraved, like, in gilt lettering on it, and the sides of the page are, like, gold stamped. I'm sure it's absolutely not real gold, but it looks cool. And, like, I've thumbed through this book up at the GW store, and it's just got so much lore, and awesome pictures of models, and so much kick-ass art. Like, if I could get my hands on the prints of the art that went into this, it would be, like, wall-to-wall ceiling to floor, my entire room would just be decorated in this 40k Wolfen Space Wolf art. Like, there's even some Grey Knight stuff in here. Like, yeah, you can tell the Grey Knights because that dude's got a stick on his back that's got a book on it. And they've got, like, gold writing on their pauldrons and everything. Oh, God, this thing is so fucking cool. But yeah, there's a lot of lore here. Great art. I'm super excited about this, and this might be, I know if Biter's listening, Biter's just gonna be like, oh, you're just trying to justify this stupid purchase. And you're right. But that doesn't mean that just because it was a stupid purchase doesn't mean that I have to regret it. I can revel in my stupidity every now and again. I just do it a little bit too often than is good for me. But yeah, it's also got this Scions of the Warp booklet, which none of the rest of this stuff is hardcover. But it's got this Scions of the Warp thing, which has new formations for the Chaos Demons. It's also got kick-ass, like, rules for different characters, and you get to see all of the different, configurations of the Bloodthirster model, which is just so fucking awesome. Like, these models are so dynamic and well-detailed, and, like, I wish I could paint like these guys, man. I wish I could paint like these guys. It's so fucking cool. I wish I could show you guys pictures, but that would take too fucking long. Maybe if enough people want to see pictures, if you say so in the comments, I'll go through and I'll take pictures and I'll post some of this stuff. Like, I'll make a short video just, like, displaying the art from this, because it's just too fucking cool. But yeah, you get all of these kick-ass formations for the Chaos guys, and I haven't gone through and looked at the rules yet, but I'm guessing that this is going to be more balanced than the standard box set that they do. Because the way that Games Workshop runs is that they'll have boxes that's like you get two forces per box, right? And like you'll get one with like Dark Angels and Chaos. But the way it's structured is Chaos is mostly cultists, and cultists are fucking worthless. They're meat grinder fuel, essentially. You just, like, send them in to distract people. That's what you do with cultists. And the Dark Angels get, like, bikes and a librarian, and just, like, they're ridiculously overpowered. So there's a clear bias here. Like, there's an obvious, this faction is supposed to win when you play a game like that. And the way that they do it, the reason that they do it like that is so that when you walk into a Games Workshop, because they also use these things for display. So when you walk into a Games Workshop and the guy's like, hey, have you ever played Warhammer 40k before? I'll do a quick game with you. And he'll take the bad guys and you'll take the good guys and you'll wipe the floor with his ass and you'll be more inclined to buy something because, hey, I just won. I feel good about winning. You don't know that it's horribly unbalanced because you're a dumb fuck who never walked into the store before. You don't know how the game runs. Well, it's kind of devious. Games Workshop is a fairly devious company. But, like, their quality of their product is so good that I keep saying I'm trapped in an abusive relationship with Games Workshop, and it's true, because they beat me so bad, you could just, like, feel them reaching into your pocket for your wallet every time you walk into the store, because the models are so fucking cool. But they're so goddamn expensive. But yeah, you got this other one that's Echoes of War. And it's, what the fuck is in this one? I don't think I looked in this one. There's Hostile Environment, Haunted Planet, Ice World, Ministorum, Shrine World, of Wolf and Iron, Campaign Chart. Oh, this is the book that has the, campaign skirmishes. So if you have a Chaos army and you have a, Space Wolves army, especially with the Wolfen, you can take this Echoes of War book, and you can set up battles according to the specs in this book, and you can play against your friend and do this whole, like, Warzone Fenris campaign. That's fucking awesome. And then they have the Sons of Rust, which I'm pretty sure most of this shit is in that, like, Wolflord Crumb and Ulrich the Slayer, I know are in the the regular Space Wolves Codex. But that's a new model for Ulrich. He's got like his helmet underneath his like he's cradling it in his arm, and he's got his hand up on his staff. It just looks so kick-ass, man. I wish I could paint half as well as these people. Just, God, these guys are too good. But they do have new formations here for the Space Wolves. Like, the Blackmanes, led by Ragnar Blackmane. This one freaked me out. They have the Great Pack, which is one Wolf Lord, or Wolf Guard Battle Leader, 0 to 1 units from the following list. Wolf Guard Terminators, or Thunderwolf Cavalry, which is, like, depending on which one you pick, that's, like, 5 to 15 models right there. 1 to 3 units chosen in any combination from the following list. Blood Claws, Sky Claws, and Swift Claws. I'm not sure what Swift Claws are, but I know what Blood Claws... Blood Claws basically just use bolt pistols and chain swords. Sky Claws, I'm pretty sure those are the guys with the jump packs. And then you have Lucas the Trickster. You could put Lucas the Trickster in this. This guy is fucking great. I actually have this model. I still need to paint it. But, Lucas the Trickster got into some trouble with an Eldar, I think. And they froze him and they took out part of his heart. And they replaced it with what is essentially a black hole bomb. So, when Lucas dies, or wait, I don't remember if it's a black hole bomb. Basically, like, they had to actually change the rules, because Lucas wasn't a character that you could use with other units. You would just put him on the field by himself, and then you would run him at the biggest thing that your enemy had, and if your enemy killed him, it would take him with it. Or it would take it with him. Because Lucas has this effect on him, where if you kill him in, like, a 12-inch radius on the table, everything dies. When he dies, he just takes everything within a foot with him. So they had to change that so that he didn't affect Space Wolves. So the Space Wolves still survived, so that he would actually be, like, worth having in your army. But, yeah, so it was just, like, Lucas is just an insanely OP character. 3 to 5 units chosen in any combination from Grey Hunters or Land Speeders. So Land Speeders is a vehicle. So you could have, like, a group of Grey Hunters, and that's 3 to 5 units. Holy shit. That's insane. This Great Pack thing is, like, an entire fucking company of Space Wolves. 1 to 2 units of Long Fangs, 0 to 1 units of Wolf Scouts, and 0 to 2 Lone Wolves. And Lone Wolves are basically just like one guy with a pack of Fenrisian Cyberwolves around him. So it's still badass, but not really as effective as an actual group of, an actual unit of dudes. And then there's the Wolfen Murder Pack, the tanks and everything. So yeah, there's some kick-ass shit in here. And then there's this that I have not opened yet. I don't know what it is. It's in like a folder, like an envelope with the wolf sigil on the front of it. Like basically the front cover of the slipcover, but done up in like red gilt instead of golden gilt. But what the hell is this? What did I get in here? Oh, I got a special rule sheet for the Wolfen Murder Pack. And rules for the Curse of the Wolfen. Okay, it's just one sheet of, like, plastic paper. That's pretty awesome. Oh, shit, I got an art print! I got an art print. This thing looks pretty durable, too. It's printed on thick plastic. Holy fuck, man. It's the guy from the front cover of the Curse of the Wolfen hardcover book. Oh my god, and it's the whole picture. You can see, like, Wolfen behind him, and you can see Chaos Demons begging for mercy in the front. It's, oh god. Ooh, and the back has a map of Fenris on it. Oh my god, I'm such a nerd. You guys are probably so fucking bored with this shit. I don't know why anybody's still listening. I'm gonna keep talking though, because I gotta upload something this Saturday. I promised I would. I'm keeping to that schedule, damn it. Which, I'm proud of myself for keeping to that schedule. But yeah, also there's, in the back of the book, in the back of the slipcover, there are 12 special dice that just have wolf heads and skulls on them, which I'm not really sure what that means. Very cryptic. Very cryptic. And there are little metal objective counters, which look kick-ass. There's 6 of them. I'm really not sure what they're made out of, but they look pretty awesome. I don't think you can bend them. So, not that you could with fingers, but they're pretty. So all in all, I'm very, very happy with this purchase. I know it was stupid. I know that it cost way too much money, and I got had. Yes, of course, I got had. But I don't care! I don't care. This was just too awesome to pass up, so I made a snap decision, and I splurged, and I don't regret a goddamn thing. Nor do I feel I should. So, yeah. That's kick-ass. I also picked up some Fenrysian Cyberwolves, which I'm looking forward to painting. Those are going to be cool. Well, very, very dynamic looking models. I can't wait to get into these guys. I'm going to have to get back into my Space Wolves, man. I'm going to have to start making my Space Wolves again, because the manager of my local GW store was like, I'm planning on, he said he has a house that was a speakeasy back in the 40s, and it's got this huge basement, with a bar in it. So he's just gonna, get a bunch of people together who like to play and just have, a 1,500 point tournament over at his house, and, your entry is, a 6-pack. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll pay that, and I'll come in and play. I'd love to pit my Space Wolves against actual opponents, because I don't get to play that often, man. Not a lot of people around here actually play Warhammer 40k. And that's a real shame, because that's one of the best things about this hobby. Because if I wanted to just get into models, right? If I wanted to just get into models, I would just get model cars. Or model airplanes, or something like that. And I know I've made this point in the last podcast. Or maybe it was in that recording that I'm deleting. But these models are insanely well detailed. They're really, really fucking cool. Look up some professionally painted Warhammer 40k models and tell me that's not, the bee's knees. Not just, the wasp's nipples right there. Just the complete set of erogenous zones of every major insect in the Western Hemisphere of planet Earth. And yes, I did steal that joke from Douglas Adams. They're just kick-ass. So not only do I get to fulfill my love of modeling, I get to take these home, I get to purchase them, I get to take them home, I get to put them together, I get to paint them to my liking, and then I get to take them over to a friend's house, or up to the store, or whatever, and fight people with them, play a strategy game with them. It's awesome. It's expensive, which is a really high bar to entry. You gotta have a job to play 40k. You gotta have a fairly decently paying job to play 40k, or just, save up your money and buy, 1 box a month or something like that. And, I said, that's a real shame, because I wish more people were into this. But, I talked to one of the guys, the guy who works at GW now. He had to go to a conference in Dallas, I want to say. So he was gone for a few days, but they had another guy take over the shop for him. And I came in and talked to that guy, and that's when I got to actually play a little bit of Age of Sigmar, and it was really cool. I got to got to sit there and play a game with him. It wasn't all that fun to me, because I didn't care about the fact, like, if I was playing Skaven, I would probably have been a lot more invested in it, but I was playing a bunch of guys that I got no fucking clue who these guys are, and I don't care about their lore. I like the rat people. I know, I'm fucking weird like that. But I talked to that guy about why the models are so expensive. And he actually did me the courtesy of explaining it, so I'll explain it to you guys. So take this for what it's worth, right? Take it for what it's worth. This is secondhand information at best, but this is the explanation that I got. So I will impart it to you guys, because if you're in this far, we're fucking 30 now, almost 40 minutes in, you're obviously interested. So, the way that Games Workshop runs their shit. They pay for a mold, right? A mold of these models. They get a professional artist, a professional sculptor to come in and sculpt out one perfect model, right? And they make a mold of it. They encase it in plastic or whatever, probably metal, and they make a mold of it. And they pay like $1.5 million for this mold. And they have to buy 2 of them in case one breaks. So that's like $3 million right there, just for one model. And I don't know, your mileage may vary. Like, I can't really see the models for these wolves costing, well, I mean, you know, like, maybe the molds are that expensive for all of this shit. Because, I mean, they have, like, a bunch of different parts for these, and you can get them in a bunch of different poses. Like, I'm seeing at least 5 different poses for these wolves on the back of the box. But that was the way he explained. Like, your mileage may vary, but usually they pay around 1 to 1.5 mil for a mold. And they have to buy 2 of them. So that's like $2.5 to $3 million for these molds. So they have to charge a fair amount to make back their money, to ensure that they make back that $2.5-3 million for the mold. They have to make sure it's a good investment before they actually put money into it, which it kind of would explain why the Sisters of Battle haven't really gotten an update in a long fucking time, because from what I understand, not a lot of people play Sisters of Battle, which is a shame, because from what I hear, they're a kick-ass army. But they're still, like, the Sisters of Battle are so unpopular that they're still trying to pawn off pewter models. Like, metal. They used to make these models metal and sell them like that. They don't do that anymore because it's cheaper for them to make them out of plastic. Which, hey, fine, fair enough. It actually works out better, because now I can paint all of the pieces individually and then put the model together, so it all looks really, really badass and well painted. And I prefer the PVC glue that they have, which actually melts the plastic together, so it's not like you're just gluing it together. It actually like, say you want to put an arm on a Space Marine, it actually melts the arm to the body of the model. So it's a little bit more durable. They still pop off occasionally, but you know, usually if you don't put them through any severe stress, like dropping them from, you know, a certain height, they'll hold up really well. But yeah, they still have pewter models of the Sisters of Battle. So the only reason that I can think of that they're still trying to get rid of their pewter models is that they're just not that popular. Like, nobody buys them, I guess. So, if nobody buys them, I mean, that's free market right there. They're not going to invest money into something that not a lot of people are into, because they're not going to get a return on their investment. Which, hey, fine, you know. That's the way capitalism works. That's the way free market works. It's a damn shame, because I love the Sisters of Battle. I love their lore and everything. But, like, here's how unpopular the Sisters of Battle are. And I'm not saying unpopular like everybody hates them, because a lot of people love the lore around the Sisters of Battle. But so far as actually going out and building an army of Sisters models, they don't even have a spot in the store. Like, there's there's entire rows, like, top to bottom. We're talking, like, 9-foot tall walls of shelves of models. And they have, like, okay, you have your Adeptus Mechanicus, you have your Space Wolves, you have your Tau, you have your Eldar, your Chaos, your Skaven, your Lizardmen, your Sigmarines, whatever. Sisters of Battle don't even have, like, a section of a shelf somewhere. They're not in the store. You have to special order those online to get Sisters of Battle. That's how unpopular the models are. Nobody plays Sisters of Battle. And I mean that broadly. There are plenty of Sisters players out there, but not a lot of people buy the models, so they just don't invest in them, I guess. But yeah, so that's why this box of Wolfen that I'm hopefully going to be getting tomorrow is costing like $60 before tax. It costs them a lot to make the molds for the model, so they have to get the return on their investment. Which, I mean, as much money as I put into this fucking company, and will put into this fucking company, I should be a fucking shareholder at this point. Like, give it, like, another couple of years, and I'll have invested enough money into this to, like, deserve to be a fucking shareholder in Games Workshop stock. I don't know, some people might look at that and be like, oh, what are you wasting your money for on these models? It's just a stupid little hobby. Why don't you go do something else? Like, go get drunk and get laid with your money. This is what I like to do, man. This is fun to me. I know it may not seem it. I know it may sound weird, but this is fun to me. Like, sitting in my room, painting a model, it's very zen. It's one of those, like, finding your center things. It gives you something small to focus on. And a problem to solve. Like, okay, I have to find out how to put this model together, and I have to paint it and make sure that everything looks just right, and not let my brush go too far over into an already painted area so that it doesn't look like shit. And I don't get, like, red splotches on where it's supposed to be khaki or something like that. It's very zen. It's very calming. It helps me find my center. It's a fun thing that I enjoy doing, and I'll be the first to admit that it's not for everybody, man. Not everybody is going to be into models. Not everybody is going to be into Warhammer 40k. But if you're not into models, but you're into, like, grimdark sci-fi, I highly recommend picking up the book. I absolutely love the Horus Heresy series, and I'm not going to get into the Horus Heresy right now, because that would tack, like, another fucking hour onto this podcast, and I could already feel my voice starting to give out. But the books are very good. Mostly. There's a few writers here and there that are a little bit too pretentious for their own good, I guess you could say. I still haven't read any of a 40k author's stuff. Robbie McNiven is his name. But he's got a couple of things out, and like I say, he's getting into this Wolfen stuff. If I remembered that right, and he actually does have the second novel in the Curse of the Wolfen series, or Warzone Fenris, I guess, is the name of the whole series. But if he's got into that, then I'm definitely going to be picking up some of his work. I already want to pick up his work, because he actually made the effort to make a Tumblr and get involved with the community and just be the nicest guy you've ever fucking met about it. It's ridiculous how fucking kind this guy is, and how understanding, and, like, he gets into discussions with people, and he's not afraid to share his opinions on things, and he's very understanding of other people's opinions. He's got a very live and let live philosophy about him. It's pretty impressive, especially on Tumblr. But yeah, I mean, these are some of the trials and tribulations of being a Games Workshop slave drone. Just because I'm so in love with the universe, and I love painting the models so fucking much. Like, this is how bad it is, man. When I came in to get, like, my brother got me into, I'll go on for like another 10 minutes or so, and then I'll shut up. But, like, my brother got me into the fiction, right? And he tried to get me into it like 6-7 years ago. And he just couldn't do it, because, like, he gave me a bad book to start off. Because he gave me a book about the Imperial Guard. I wasn't interested in the Imperial Guard. Now, the Gaunt's Ghost series is really good. It's Dan Abnett, He's like the foremost 40k author out there. But the book that he gave me was like a collection of short stories, right? And the first story I read was like, I don't know, it might have been 70 pages, something like that. This motherfucker had no idea what a conjunction was. Like, isn't. That didn't appear in that book. Everyone always said, it is not our duty to blah blah blah, or we are not going to go there. It was always are not, is not, will not, none, no conjunctions, none of that. Or contractions, that's it. Contractions. No contractions. Nothing. None of these, like, shortened words that make speech flow more naturally. And I understand that in the Warhammer, now I understand. In the 40k universe, there are feasibly planets of people who talk like that. But at the time, it just pissed me off so badly. It grated so badly on my mental chalkboard that I just could not fucking countenance it, and I threw the book down. I didn't read it anymore. I was just like, no, fuck this. Then the Horus Heresy series started coming out, and he was like, okay, no, seriously, you have to read this book. And he handed me Prospero Burns, which is the Space Wolves novel in the Horus Heresy series. And I read that one and fell in fucking love immediately. It was that fast. I just started reading this and I was hooked, and the claws have only dug deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper as the years have gone by, as evidenced by the obscene amount of money that I've spent on this stupid fucking bullshit. But, like, okay, so I read the books for, like, 4 years, right? I just devoured all of this fiction. I started reading Gaunt's Ghosts. I read most of the, well, not most, because there's like fucking 35 books in this series now, not including the audio dramas that they do and the short stories that they have that you can pretty much only get on ebooks. But I read lots of these novels, and I enjoyed the hell out of them. So I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna see what the game is all about, because I knew that this was based off of a tabletop game. So I was like, alright, fuck it. There's a local games workshop in the big city that's near where I live. Fine, I'll go there and I'll see what's up. So I walked in and the guy was like, yeah, sure, fine. We have Space Wolves right here. We have this big box set of Space Wolves that's... I can't remember who else was in the box set, because it was one of those box sets that was obviously biased towards somebody, I think. And, it was like Space Wolves versus Chaos or something like that. I don't remember. But, I got the last one in like 3 states. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, there were no more of this box set. I picked up the last one, and that was my first experience with all of this. And I took the models home. It was orcs. That was it. I remember. It was Space Wolves versus orcs. And I picked up this box. It was like $100, so it was a huge investment. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I just spent $100 on this. I'm gonna learn how to do it. I'm gonna learn how to do it right. So I took the orcs because I didn't fucking care about how they looked, how they came out. If I fuck up painting these orcs, it's not a big deal, because I don't want to fucking play orcs anyway. I don't want to paint orc models. I don't care about the orcs. So I'll learn how to paint on these models, and then I'll apply what I've learned to the army that I actually care about, right? Need more wine. And I started painting my Space Wolves, and I was like, okay, laser focus, because these models are really expensive, so I have to have laser focus. I'm going to put my blinders on. I'm going to just get Space Wolf stuff. So I collected, like, so much Space Wolves models. Just like a retarded amount of Space Wolves models. But then, one day, in the store, the blinders, because I would go, the way that my local games workshop runs, I don't know how it runs in your city, but the manager at my store was a really friendly person. She was a lot of fun to be around. She was really invested in the hobby. She loved these models. She loved the lore. And you could just go there, and I frequently did, because I was back in college at the time. I frequently went in there and just hung out. Like, I would get out of class and just go to Games Workshop, because it was right down the street from the college. And I would just hang out in the Games Workshop store and paint models and talk shit and just meet people and get in discussions and whatnot. Just hang out there. It was like a bar without the booze. The situation would have been greatly improved with booze, but that's just the alcoholic in me talking. It was a lot of fun. But then I got into some kind of dire fight. Basically, I wasn't able to go back to college. I didn't have any reason or means with which to go back to the big city. So I kind of fell off for about a year. I just didn't go back there. But yeah, no, I'm getting too into the story, recounting my personal, my Games Workshop journey. No, so I was in the store one day, and I tried to keep my blinders up, man. I tried. I really tried. I swear to God, I tried. But then one day, the blinders slipped a little, and I looked over at the Tyranids, and I was like, holy shit, those are some beautiful models. I bet that big fucker would be fun to paint. Oh my god, they have a deal on this army right here. Because they do, like, big boxes where it's, like, the Wrath of the Hive Mind or whatever, or the Swarm, or something like that. Like, one of them, you get, like, 95 models for, like, $115. And that's a stupid good deal, because if you had to buy all of those models individually, you'd wind up paying, like, $250, $300 for it. So I was just like, alright, you know what, fuck it, I have the money in my pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and get me a box of Tyranids. This is a good deal. I wanna try out painting these guys. They look fun. They look like a cool army. I'm gonna pick up this giant box of fucking Tyranids, and I'm gonna paint them. So I started painting Tyranids. I completely forgot about my Space Wolves. Just, like, shunted them off to the side. I still have them, but I have, like, more than that. A couple of those boxes are, like, individual models. Like, there's a couple of Dreadnoughts over there, and that's, like, one model. But I have those. I have 2 boxes of Tyranids, 2 of the, like, big boxes, plus a couple of other boxes that are, like, single models, like the bigger models. Because I'm fucking stupid, and I spend too much money on this shit. And not only, on top of my stupid ass buying all of these Space Wolves that I haven't gotten around to painting yet, and all of these Tyranids that I haven't gotten around to painting yet, because I'm not one of those, like, assembly line painters. I can't line up, like, if I line up 10 models that are all the same model, like gargoyles, and I try to paint them all, they all just come out looking like shit. Like, they're painted, they look alright from a distance, but then you start, like, investigating and they look like shit. And I don't want my models to look like shit. I'm into the modeling thing. The game is a secondary thing. I like the models. I really want the models to look good. So, I started... I have to take this slow. I'm a really slow painter, but my models generally come out looking pretty fucking decent when I take my time and get everything how I want it within my means of my talent painting. Painting talent. God damn, what the fuck is wrong with me? I need more wine. So yeah, the blinders slipped one day, and then suddenly I'm drowning in fucking Tyranid models that I haven't painted. And I'm like, okay, no. This is costing too much money. This is too much in paint, this is too much in models, this is too much in basing stuff. I can't afford to get into another army. Oh my god. And then, like, the blinders slipped a little bit, and I was like, oh my god, the Tau looks so cool. I don't care about the Tau. I don't care about the Tau's backstory. I know, like, jack and shit about the Tau's lore, right? I want to paint the mech suits. But I've been good. I've been good. And I've put my blinders back on and I'm like, no, you have Space Wolves and you have Tyranids and that's it. And you play your fucking Space Wolves and your Tyranids and you make these models because you've already invested way too much fucking money in this crap. But then the blinders started slipping outside of the store because I recently picked up, I don't remember if it was through a Humble Bundle or what, but I picked up Mordheim, City of the Damned on PC. And it's slow. It's a slow game. But I like it, because I get to have my little rat people army, and I get to lead them through a squad-based strategy game, kind of like XCOM, but really slow. And I get to see them grow, and we suffer loss together, and, like, one dude, like a couple of these rat guys have lost legs. Like, the amount of detail that went into this game is pretty astounding. Which is why the load times are fucking interminable. But I'd been looking at fantasy for a while, and I really liked the Skaven, the rat people. And then my blinders fucking fell off when I went back to fucking Games Workshop. And there was a new manager, I guess the old one had gotten fired, which is a shame, because she was a good manager. She really loved her job, and she really liked the community. Or, at least, she put up that facade when she was in the store. Even when it was just me and her hanging out. I don't know. Maybe she fucking hated her job and hated all of us. I can't say. But she really seemed to enjoy what she did. And it's kind of a shame that she lost that job or quit or whatever. Because she seemed really invested in the whole thing. And I know I said I was only going to talk another 10 minutes, but I'm going to keep going. But then this guy, like the new manager, this dude, not like a dude, bro. I think he's like ex-military, which just goes to show you the breadth of people who play 40K. Although I like military guy into a war game, kind of makes sense. But he was the guy who explained the whole Age of Sigmar thing. Like, you could just pick up this box right here, because I told him I wanted to look at the Skaven. He's like, yeah, they're right over here. You can just take this box right here, paint those models, and you can fucking play a game. And I was like, oh shit, word? Alright, let's see what we got here. So I picked up, the blinders fell, and I fucked up again, and I picked up a box of Skaven Plague Monks. I'm so ashamed of myself. I'm supposed to have my blinders on. But all of the models that they have there look so cool. Like, I just want to pick up a box of everything just to have them and paint them. I don't even care about playing most of these armies. I care about playing Space Wolves and Tyranids. That's it. And so far as fantasy goes, Skaven. That's it. Those are my three armies. Those are my three boys right there. Is the Skaven, the Tyranids, and the Space Wolves. That's all the ones that I care about. I don't care about none of these other, like, faggot motherfuckers, like the Blood Angels, who get way, way too much fucking screen time in everything. Like, Dawn of War is one of the best computer strategy games on the market, period, bar none. It is amazing. But the Blood Angels are the main fucking faction that you play. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't care about these guys. I don't want to play as these guys. I want to play through this exact same storyline as the Space Wolves. But they didn't have that. On the bright side, though, there is the Apocalypse mod for that game, which I highly recommend looking up if you have Dawn of War. Look up the Ultimate Apocalypse mod. They have everything and everybody, including Titans. Yes, you fucking heard me right. I know, because I did it. I loaded that mod, and I fucking walked a Titan, a Imperator class Titan, into a fucking Tyranid stronghold, and I wiped those fucking bugs off the map. So if you're into that shit, get Dawn of War and download the Ultimate Apocalypse mod. You can't play through the storyline with the Ultimate Apocalypse mod. It's just for, like, LAN parties and online play and solo against the computer. But it's so much fun. It is so much fun. But yeah, these are the trials and tribulations of being a Games Workshop fucking battered wife. I guess I have battered wife syndrome so far as Games Workshop is concerned. Because I keep getting beat, I keep getting my money taken, but I keep coming back. Because I love them. And I really do know that they love me. I know it. Somewhere deep down in their cold corporate heart, I know that they love me. I say as they take more money out of my pocket. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This was a hell of a lot lighter than what I was originally gonna upload. It was a hell of a lot more fun to talk about. I don't even want to get into the shit that I was going to talk about this week. It's just so depressing. Well, not all of it is really depressing, but most of it is, like, divisive and abrasive, and I'm in too good of a mood tonight to sit here and edit that shit. I would rather talk about and edit something fun. So that's what I'm gonna fucking do, and that's what I've done. So, yeah, alright. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel. I do narrations, which are more like audio dramas, every Wednesday. I'm currently sick at the moment, however, so this is a small caveat to the Wednesday audio drama thing. I am sick at the moment. You could probably hear it in my voice. So I can't really voice act right now. I'm waiting until I get over it, so until then, you're going to get holder narrations, which are narrations that I recorded for a stillborn charity event about 1.5 years ago that just never went anywhere, and I had these files sitting on my computer. They already had music on them, so I figure, fuck it, I'll go ahead and use those. Because I'm sick, and it would sound like shit if I tried to narrate anything, so I'm just gonna do that until I get better, until my head cold sorts itself out. On Mondays, you will get a chapter of an audiobook. Currently, I am doing H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, which is pretty, oh, sorry, I'm working on a Carnifex right now, and it just kind of got in the way of my hand right there. Now I need to find somewhere to put it, because my desk is so fucking cluttered. I'm a slob, I know. Yeah, let me see here. It's only 12 chapters and an epilogue. So if you have an audiobook that is in public domain, seriously, go to en.wikisource.org and look up what you're going to ask me to narrate before you ask me to narrate it. Because if it's not up here, then it's not in public domain, and I can't safely narrate it. If something like this, like Time Machine, I can do whatever the fuck I want with it, because this came out like 100 years ago. But other stuff that's under copyright, I can get my ass handed to me, and I really don't want to lose my YouTube channel. You know, you guys are... I enjoy talking and interacting with you guys, so, I mean, I know that sounds hollow, because I haven't been doing anything in a fucking 1.5 years now. But, like, the comments on my last podcast and the couple of videos that I put up since then have been... It's been good interacting with you guys. It's good to get back into the swing of things again. And I would like to be able to keep doing that, which is part of the reason that I deleted the podcast that I was going to upload this week and recorded this. So, yeah, what else was I going to fucking say? Yeah, you can get a audiobook chapter Monday if you subscribe, and a audio drama occasionally, and probably more often than not. I will have other people voicing other characters with me, so they'll mostly come from Laughably Dapper, which is another thing that you guys should go and check out, and I will pimp that every fucking chance I get. So go and check out Laughably Dapper. That's the pool of talent that I'm going to be drawing voices from, but they will be fully voiced audio productions with sound effects and music and all that good shit. I just want it to sound really good, which is why I'm not recording anything this week, because I'm congested, and I'm sick, and it would sound like shit, so I'm not going to do it. So subscribe for that, and for the podcast, every Saturday. Every Saturday. Sick or not. Because even if I'm sick, I can sit here and fucking talk shit for an hour. One thing that I did want to get into here, SoundCloud is going to be a problem, because usually my podcasts are probably going to be about this length, about an hour, hour and 15, 20 minutes, something like that. I get 3 hours of uploadable content on SoundCloud a month, unless I can somehow justify to myself paying like $7 to $14 for a SoundCloud Pro account, and if I get the top tier account, I can upload as much shit as I want per month. I'm gonna have to start making money off of this before I can justify that kind of expense. So, what I'm thinking is from now on, I'll just upload narrations and the audio dramas and the audiobooks. I'll just upload that to the SoundCloud account. The podcast will be a YouTube exclusive until I get off my lazy ass and actually look up how to get this shit on like iTunes and stuff like that. And if I actually start making money off this, then I can buy a premium SoundCloud account and start uploading as much as I want. But I have to have the money to be able to justify that kind of expense. I don't have it right now. So SoundCloud is just going to have to take a hit on the podcasting. I'll keep the audio files around just so that I can upload them whenever I'm able. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm thinking about doing Bandcamp. Once I get the full audiobook read and narrated and put up on YouTube, I'll take all of the files and I'll put them in an album and I'll upload them on Bandcamp, and you guys can, if you want to support me, that's how we'll do it. Okay, you can go to Bandcamp. You can pay like $5 for an audiobook. I actually do put a fair amount of work into those. So, like, narrating that shit is not necessarily difficult, but the editing and all of the, like, the whole process for this shit is a lot more involved than most people think. Which is why people like Mr. Creepypasta have people working for him to do this shit for him, so he just has to sit there and read lines. But I'll work out the Bandcamp thing while I'm in the process of getting this audiobook done, because I don't want to start it up and then just have nothing there for people. So, yeah. I would make a Patreon, but that kind of feels dirty. Like getting money to exist. It just seems dirty. Like having a Patreon. I don't know why. And this isn't a dig at people who have Patreon, because I know, like, Texerax, who's a friend of mine, I love dearly, he has a Patreon. You know, I'm not taking a dig at people who do Patreon. I just don't really like the idea of people being like, hey, I'll pay you $5 a month or whatever to do what you do. And I could do nothing and still get that $5, depending on how I set it up. I don't know. I haven't looked into Patreon at all, because the whole thing just seems really off to me. I would rather provide something that people will... Like, I don't donate to people. I don't do crowdfunding. I don't donate to causes. If I'm going to give you money, I expect to get something in return. You know what I mean? That's why when the Honey Badger Radio started up, I didn't donate money. I, bought a t-shirt and a water bottle. And they could do whatever the fuck they want with the money that I gave them. And I get a water bottle. It's the best water bottle I ever bought. I've had it since, it's been 2 years since Honey Badger Radio started up. I've still got that fucking water bottle. I still use it just about every day. So I would rather do something like that than just, hey, give me money because you like what I do on YouTube. It just, that whole thing seems fucking scummy to me. But if, we get to a point where I actually grow my audience enough to the point where people are like, hey, can I, donate to your PayPal or whatever? Then I'll think about setting up a Patreon, or I'll just put everything up on Bandcamp, and if you guys really, really want to, and you're too fucking lazy to go download, Free Make Video Converter, you can, pay, I don't know, $2 for a narration, and, $5 for an audiobook. We'll do something like that. I don't know. I still have to work all this out. This is very embryonic. I'm still working on it. I'm just concentrating on getting on the schedule and trying to grow my audience at this point. That's the modus operandi right now. But, yeah, oh, one more thing. For those of you who are still here, an hour and fucking 15 minutes in, God bless your soul. For putting up with me for this long, you deserve a fucking medal. Maybe if I open up a Patreon for the people who listen to me for an actual entire podcast, I'll actually send you an engraved piece of metal that says, "Congration, you done it." But my next podcast, and I'm probably going to release, like, a short video, just as a general announcement for this. But I'm going to be having guests! They will be my good friends, Arcane Razzle and the Right Hand of Doom, whom some of you may know. They are the creative minds behind Laughably Dapper Entertainment. They're the writers. Razzle is a co-producer and director, along with Doom. I'm one of the other producers. Like, it's weird. We like both edit stuff. Like, I edit all of the voice stuff together, and then I send the voice files off to Razzle. Well, not the voice files, like the show, essentially. I send the show minus music and sound effects to Razzle, and she puts all that stuff in, and then they upload it to YouTube. So they're very important people in Laughably Dapper. They're the reason it exists, and I believe so firmly in Laughably Dapper's worth that I will plug it every chance I get. So I'm going to do probably an entire podcast just with them talking about Laughably Dapper. So if you have questions for the creative minds behind Laughably Dapper, then please list them in the comments below, or put them in my Tumblr Ask box, or I guess you can tweet them to me too. And I will compile them in a Word file and ask them throughout the course of this whole interview thing I've got going on. Because honestly, please ask questions, guys. Please ask questions. Because the ones that I've got are lame. They're general. They're probably not going to be all that interesting. So ask questions. I swear to God, your shit will be more interesting than mine. But yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to talk about. I'm probably going to think of something tomorrow, like, oh fuck, I should have mentioned that while I was rambling my ass off. But yeah, okay, I've got to edit this so that I can get it uploaded tomorrow, and it's already like 9:30 at night, so I know what I'm going to be doing with the rest of my night. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, whatever, wherever you are. I hope that you're having a good time. I hope that you have enjoyed listening to this. I hope that you will leave me questions for Razzle and Doom. And peace out, and take care, everybody. Love you guys. I'll catch you next time.